So a couple of weeks ago, I watched a video on Facebook where a man tried to push his shopping cart packed with toilet paper out of a supermarket. And then all of a sudden, he's attacked by two women who yelled at him and hysterically tried to grab that toilet paper out of his cart. And I thought to myself, why are we doing such a thing? And it dawned on me, in times of a crisis, we need a sense of security. I guess having enough flour and rice and toilet paper in our house gives us at least the illusion of a security. And so I called my 89-year-old father in Germany, who has lived alone in his house ever since my mom died. And I asked him, I said, Dad, did you make sure you have enough toilet paper in the house? He laughed at me. He says, Daniel, I have 2 huge stacks of old newspaper in the basement. If times get tough, I'll do the same thing I did for years as a little boy. Then I'll burn the paper in our old furnace. I wish you would know my dad. One of a kind. You know, I immediately understood. My good old dad found access to the security within himself, man, that most of our younger generations are struggling to find. You know, for a while my dad had to skip school in order to shovel all day to fill the bomb craters with dirt and ashes. And what he learned is this: you will always find the grace to deal with a crisis, but only in the moment it actually hits you. But you will encounter grace. Why? Because God Himself gave you this incredible gift of love and joy by placing Himself deep within you. This inner awareness gives my dad peace, not the 2 piles of newspaper in his basement. Does that make sense? You know, as hard as I try, I cannot fool my mind. For every problem that I'm facing, I need at least an equal amount of solution. Otherwise, my mind will freak out. I cannot talk away my fear of corona with optimism or positive thinking. My mind wants to know if I'm internally equipped to handle the upcoming crisis. It wants to know if I can handle the possible corona death of my 89-year-old dad who has asthma. My mind wants to know if all my weddings for this year are canceled, will I be able to handle closing my company? If I won't be able to pay my mortgage and I lose our house, will I be able to handle that? You see, I can't satisfy the concern of my mind with toilet paper or ignorance. And I think that's why some of us struggle to find inner peace. You probably remember the housing crash in 2008, right? Man, in 2009, I lost at least 80% of my wedding clients. And chances were very likely that we would lose our house. I was the only one providing income. We were raising 2 little children at the time. And my mind had every right to ask me, Daniel, will you be able to handle losing your home? I still remember Susie's exact words. She looked at me and said, Sweetie, our happiness doesn't come from this house. You remember when we first got married? For the first year, man, we lived in one little single room and we shared a bathroom with 6 others and we were happy and thankful. And then the following year, we moved even into the basement of the house and we had a little bigger room and we built a shower in the corner of the heating room. And we were happy and proud because, hey, we have our own bathroom. Man, and in that corner of the hallway, smaller than our walk-in closet today, you edited your first wedding films. And we were thankful and happy. if we lose this home, I know we will pack our belongings with tears in our eyes. But happiness does not depend on this home. And that's all I needed to hear. That's all I needed to hear to find inner peace. My wife reminded me our inner being, our reservoir of love and grace and endurance is greater than our loss of losing the house. Sensing this truth within you, man, it's so empowering. You know what I mean by that, right? Because only when we encounter this truth, our mind can finally relax. There's a great chance that some of us have to face a really tough reality in the near future. And the only help you might find is the grace and comfort within yourself. You know, in tough times, we tend to worry all day about the bad things that could happen in the future. Please remember, grace and love are your constant companion, but only in the present moment. They will never join you in your attempt to travel into the unknown future. And why am I saying that? Because for the present moment, I have always found the grace in my life to be able to deal with it. But I cannot cope with something that is actually only an illusion of my thoughts and my mind. I can only live within the grace of one day. At the beginning of last year, my mom passed away. We knew her heart was weak, and we only had a short time window remaining. And therefore, I surprised her on her 85th birthday. Without telling anyone, I flew to Germany, and as a gift, I hid in a huge box on the morning of her birthday and surprised her. I will never, ever forget how excited she was the second she saw her youngest son. You know, my siblings are 18, 19, and 20 years older than me. So I was always her baby. And then a couple of days later, I had to face the moment of saying goodbye to her. And I told her, Mom, we say Mama in German. Mama, you know, I'm coming back in 6 weeks for a wedding show, but please don't feel obligated to wait for me. And as I was sitting on her bed, holding her hand, she whispers in my ear, I will see you again in the arms of Jesus. Think about it. Here's my mom, just a few days away from facing death. And out of her inner being, she's pouring out confidence and certainty that you can't logically comprehend. We both started to sing one of her favorite hymns. And in the midst of all my pain, deep within me, I sensed a love and a grace that's beyond measure. And I knew I would be okay. I knew I would find the grace to let her go home. Because the grace and love within me is greater, so much greater than the void that you will leave behind. Sensing this grace, sometimes even being carried by this grace, man, it's a gift. It is so uplifting, so empowering. Can you sense what I'm talking about? I know you do. And now that we are celebrating Easter, I would love to invite you to take in a lot less news, a lot less social media information, and Oh, just give yourself some rest. How about calling someone, encouraging someone you haven't talked to in a long time? How about sharing your concerns, your emotions, your feelings with a good friend? Maybe even sad feelings. You know, when we make ourselves vulnerable or when others open their hearts towards us, some of the most powerful words are, "Me too." Have a blessed Easter, a blessed Passover, a joyful Resurrection Day with your loved ones. And I pray that you sense, stronger than ever before, that love is not just surrounding you, but also living deep within you.